Hi and welcome to a new lesson. This new lesson is going to be about listening and speaking tips. And this lesson is going to be for teachers, so you as a teacher can learn about how to create design and materials for online and face-to-face environment. The subjects that we're gonna be picking up today, the first is going to be about listening skills. How as a teacher you can design materials so your students can improve their listening skills in English. And on second place we're going to be talking about speaking skills, some exercises that they can do in order to improve their their speaking skills. Now we have two goals here. The first one is you as teacher you can learn and understand some common safe methods to design materials for online face-to-face environments. And when talking about listening skills, and on second place we're gonna be then helping you to understand and to know about some methods you can use for face-to-face and online environment to teach some speaking tips. So the first that we're gonna be picking up today, the first subject is going to be about the listening activities, and so the first one has to do with intensive listening. Well, with these activities, the student, they are gonna be working on elicited repetition. I mean, they're gonna be repeating some dialogues. We're gonna be working too on ear spotting. It has to do with the students are going to listen and they are going to correct. They're going to say what is going on with that audio or with the voice note. What is wrong with that? Simultaneous interpretation, then they are going to be able to translate and to interpret what they are listening to. For example, this activity helps them to work on to explore sounds, words, and some grammatic. On second hand, we have the selective listening. Well, it has to do with specific subjects, such like they pick up a subject, for example, people's name, date, addresses, or some facts or events they want to talk about. For example, they want to talk about the American history, or they want to talk about locations, some situations, for example, ordering food in a restaurant, or maybe buying some tickets in the cinema, or maybe at the airport. They just can pick up the subject and listen about the subject so they can work on that. On third hand, we have the interactive listening. This one has to do with a speaker, so they have a speaker that feeds back them. For example, it's just a basic conversation where they're listening to one or two speakers and one answer back to the other, or maybe in this case, the student is interacting actively with a English speaker. On the other hand, we have the interactive listening. Then, on fourth place, then we have the extensive listening. It has to do with the student. For example, you can have the student to choose a movie, and he's gonna be working on the movie and listening, matching the words that he already knows with the new ones, so he can be able to understand what the movie is saying. For example, they can listen to some radio programs, or maybe listening to songs or interviews. So they just a lot, maybe it could be a long interview or some television programs. And the last one, which is one of the very important, is the autonomous listening. Basically, the student can work by his own through all these the above topics and methods, so he can be able to improve it. So basically, we can take the face-to-face environment activities to the online environment. It's gonna be kind of different, because if it is asynchronic interaction, is gonna be like basically like a face-to-face environment, and where if there is no teacher, just like by his own, maybe some activities assigned by the teacher. Basically, you can use the same, just find some internet activities that they can practice dictation, they can practice picking up subjects, maybe listening to speakers, and he can observe or listen to a basic conversation. And the same thing with attentive listening, autonomous listening. Now, our second topic is about speaking tips on designing activities for face-to-face environment and online environment. We can work with a method called scripted to semi-scripted and unscripted dialogues. For example, the first one is an open and shut case, and it has to do with a student A and B interact themselves, and so basically they have both the same book. One of them start like memorizing the dialogues, then as soon as he get into memory, he's close his book and he start the conversation as repeating it from the book. Then they can move to work on repeating from memory what they have learned from the conversation. The second activity you teachers can work with is writing on the whiteboard a dialogue, and so pupils, they're gonna be repeating it, and so the teacher is gonna be just rubbing out some part of the conversation, and well, they had to memorize it. They have to repeat it, even when it is empty. The third is very important too. It has to do with the role play. So the one takes the role A, and the other one takes the role B, so they can like practice on conversation from memory. Well, here we have another activity. Basically, they can work on some presentations. So first, what they do is to create a pick up a topic, and then create some chunks so they can like picture or to write down some important part of the presentation, and the goal is that at the end on a second presentation they can work it from memory. And fifth one, it could be a really interesting one, is talking about the daily routine, what they used to in their everyday environment. So for online activities, basically it could be just the same as student, well, by their own or maybe by on their teacher's guidance. They can try to find someone to practice the role play part, or someone to do that. But just in case they don't have it on the internet, you can find some resources so they can complete dialogues and some conversations. Well, this is the end of the lesson. We have four conclusions until now. The first is that designing activities for online environments is very important because of the tendency of online education, what is really current now. And now we have online materials. We have thousands of online materials that allows it to make easy. So face-to-face environment, you basically can interact even more with the student. They can, I think, improve a little bit more because they have their teacher. They get more confidence. So reference we use here, we have, well, this is the end of the lesson, the presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and you learned a lot. Blessings. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.